Greetings game collectors and welcome to today's episode. I'm taking a look at games old and new, from the common classics to the obscure titles. Nothing is out of scope when it comes to collecting. With a dash of review, a sprinkle of analysis, join me on my quest to investigate the world of video game collecting. For today's episode, I wanted to start with a classic from the year 1992, a game that my 10-year-old self remembers playing for hours. Today's game is Hoi. The game originates from the Netherlands. The title Hoi refers to the Dutch word for hi. The game was created for the Commodore Amiga by programmer Reinier van Vliet, graphic artist Metin and music composer Raymond Brouwmuller. The group were known as Team Hoi. This was a supergroup of young, dedicated game makers. It was a perfect storm of creativity and effort that helped Hoi stand out from other games of the time. Although now long disbanded, all three went on to have successful careers in their chosen fields. Metin in particular has worked on many notable projects within the Netherlands. The story of Team Hoi is one of triumph over adversity. Initially there were struggles to release the game, but eventually a retail edition of the game was published. The team must have had high hopes for the game in the early 90s. It was a solid and well-polished standalone title that would easily connect with the platform genre-loving Amiga fanbase. The game was snapped up by publisher Enterprise and all was going well. However, issues with the publisher left the group with the difficult decision to release through another route. Team Hoi turned to Holyware Entertainment, formerly Micro Illusions. My general research of the game suggests that the contract was not particularly lucrative for the designers and a financial disappointment. Team Hoi would have to wait to make it rich. The game did however make it to the shelves though, and saw release through a freeware AGA version. So here is the Holyware retail release of Hoi. The box art is hand-drawn and the front cover looks almost like a Dutch children's book. The back cover gives us a much better look at what to expect from the game, with bright screenshots and a synopsis of the game. Inside the sleeve we find the meat of the package, 2 discs lovingly prepared with the Hoi logo. In addition, there is also a brief manual outlining the story background, key commands, collectibles, tips of equipment needed to progress, and also a hint guide for each of the levels. And you're going to need them. Although the game only has 5 levels, they each provide a great challenge even for a seasoned platform gamer. Finally, there is the level 5 warning. This is posted on both the manual and the outer box. It is believed to be the first time ever that a specific warning that a game might trigger an epileptic seizure in a player appeared on a game box. I will show you some of level 5 later in the video, but will give you warning before I do. The chances are you've never seen anything quite like this outside of a technical demo. Overall, the manual, discs and box are well presented. As from the opening animation, we learn that our little Saw must travel to the Madlands. The intro is well animated and takes up the majority of disc 1. So, here comes the platforming. The controls of Hoi are very intuitive. Up, down, left, right and jump. It's as basic as it gets. You'll find your way progressing usually from left to right, jumping on platforms, collecting items and solving platform related problems. It sounds easy, and perhaps to begin with it is, but the learning curve soon ramps up a few notches. Enemies will attack you with odd patterns, confined spaces to escape, tricky moving platforms and fall damage should you try and leap too far. There's a lot here to keep you on your toes. And one more thing, it's a one-hit death game. This is what old school gaming is about. None of this life bar or on-screen hints nonsense, it's just you and your skill. Personally, I'm really fond of the graphics on show. It's all good quality pixel art here and particularly smooth animation on Hoi himself. The game is bright and bold and altogether interesting to look at. In the sound department, Hoi really shines. Again, the music is bright and exciting. It's exactly the type of electronic fun that you would expect to match the graphics and general feel of the game. Personally, level 1 and level 5 music are some of the best in the game, but there really are no low points. Overall, a great package of gaming. Although I have almost nothing but praise for Hoi, it wouldn't be right if I didn't call out a few minor issues. Firstly, the difficulty is well up there with some of the trickiest you'll find. This generally comes from two sources. At times you're expected to make leaps of faith from one platform to another. You have no real way of seeing off screen below you, so expect a few cheap deaths. In addition, the one-hit death rule can be very frustrating at times. Although there's waypoints to restart from as you progress, the death animation is something you're likely to see multiple times. The only other possible criticism I could have is the jumping. Hoi has quite a significant jump distance, which makes him feel quite floaty and vulnerable. These things considered though, my issues with the game are all minor and in no way game breaking. It's frustrating at times, but you will have fun with this challenge. The 5 stages all show a variety of colour, enemies and puzzles. Most of the puzzles are reasonably straightforward. However, some require you to backtrack to turn multiple switches on and off to activate an escape route. It's good to see this puzzle mechanic, and I wish there was more of this in modern platform gaming. As promised, here is one of the most unique levels in gaming. This is level 5. If you suffer from epilepsy, I advise skipping this portion of the video. In total, the level only lasts around 2 minutes, but the challenge of running this final gauntlet is one of the finest challenges in computer game history. To complete this one, I had to resort to an unlimited lives cheat, as this one took me many attempts to master. An Amiga Power magazine review from 1992 only awards Hoi 60%, citing the difficulty as its main downfall. Even at the time, the reviewer describes Hoi as old-fashioned platform entertainment. I think that both of these statements have some truth in them. Hoi is difficult and Hoi is unapologetically old-fashioned. These are two things that I find very appealing about the game though. For my tastes, challenging and old are two elements I very much enjoy about this gaming era. I feel the 60% score would only represent the casual gamer. I'm more inclined to rate this one as one of the more fun, low-budget platformers. So, should this game go in your collection? Well, yes. In terms of difficulty versus enjoyment, Hoi sits firmly as an addictive challenge. I describe Hoi as both difficult and enjoyable to play. Pricing for a complete in-box copy of Hoi is rather debatable. Although the game is not considered rare, it is unlikely that you're going to easily find this one out in the wild if you're a collector. Unfortunately, eBay is the way to go. At current prices, a complete in-box copy will run you anywhere from £5 to £10 plus shipping. For the US, that's anywhere up to about $15. For the asking price, Hoi is well worth the investment. Hoi isn't a game to everyone's tastes, but if you're looking for a cheerful but challenging retro platformer, then I fully recommend this game to you. I've long been a fan of Team Hoi's work, and I'm happy to still be playing their games even to this day. If you're interested in Team Hoi, I've placed some useful links in the description box below. Hoi demonstrates exactly how a great game can be made, not from a multi-million-pound studio, but from a group of friends with the passion and drive to deliver their vision. The combination of creative soundtrack, challenging gameplay, and bright, appealing graphics make Hoi one of the great hidden gems of its time. Not only is Hoi one of my favourite Amiga games, it's one of my favourite games of all time. If you remember playing Hoi, let me know in the comments. Were you ever able to complete level 5? Hello again, I hope you enjoyed today's show, and thank you for the view. Remember, you can always comment, like, subscribe, and find us on the social media sites below. Happy collecting!